Hi, I'm Sam Greenfield, and I have a question. Do you ever watch Fox and Friends? I do, for about 5 minutes every morning, because here's what happens. No matter what the lead story of the day is, if it's anything that makes Donald Trump look bad, or Mike Pence look bad, or Kristen Nielsen look bad, the head of Homeland Security, or any Republican official look bad, if you go to Fox and Friends, the first thing they talked about it today, was the tragedy of the California safety officer, police officer, being murdered by an undocumented immigrant. Leaves behind a 5-month-old child, a wife. It's heartbreaking. And the person who did this should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But it's not the lead story. The lead story is that there are hundreds of thousands of Americans out of work because Donald Trump thinks that he can build a wall over a river. Okay, and it goes from concrete to steel, and he's telling people you can apply for citizenship at the border. No, you can't. He is consistently dumber than any president I've ever seen. And worse yet, most of the time you have a vice president who's pretty smart. George H.W. Bush was pretty smart. Believe it or not, Dan Quayle wasn't that dumb either. He was pretty smart. Couldn't spell, but he was pretty smart. Al Gore was smart. Most of them were very smart guys. Walter Mondale was smart. Very smart guys. Spiro Agnew, not so much. This was a guy who was kicked out of vice presidency because he was accepting grocery money as bribes when he was governor of Maryland. But Donald Trump doesn't need Mike Pence to be dumb. He can do it all by himself. And by the way, there is no bigger hypocrite in my lifetime than Mike Pence when it comes to a high office. This is a homophobe, a racist, a religious bigot. And he stands next to Donald Trump and he says, we're in an emergency crisis at the border. No, we're not. There are less immigrants today from Mexico, legal and illegal, than there were 10 years ago, 9 years ago, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, 6 years ago. And what's Trump scaring you with? Here they come, the brown people. Ooh. Well, let me give you a news flash, Donald. Dylan Roof, who killed 9 parishioners in South Carolina, 9 black parishioners, was white. Timothy McVeigh, who killed a lot of people at the Alfred P. Murrah building in 1995 in Oklahoma City, was white. The guy who killed all those people at the country music show in Vegas was white. The guy who killed all those people in Southern California recently was white. And what do they all have in common? Illegal handguns. Some of them are legal, but some of them shouldn't be had. I don't hear Trump saying a thing about that because he's a whore to the NRA. And Mike Pence, he wouldn't know a legislative process if it bit him. See, this is one of the things I don't like about Pence. My wife's a cancer survivor, okay? And if Mike Pence had come up to my wife and said, listen, let Jesus cure you, I would have slugged him. I would have absolutely slugged him. But you go along with all this because you're stupid enough to be fooled into thinking that there's actually going to be a wall built over a river. What kind of wall is that? Are you serious? You can still climb over it. You know, they can still climb over it. It doesn't matter. Of course, Trump doesn't mention the fact that 2 children died over the last 2 weeks who were in captivity, that there's still children who can't find their parents, who are in captivity, because he doesn't care. All he says is, hide your women, here come the big, strong brown men, and you're falling for it? You know, the Electoral College was based on land ownership. I really think there should be an IQ test. If there was, I don't know if the Democrats would lose another election. I'm Sam Greenfield, and that's my question, and I hope you have an answer. Bye-bye.